You've landed at the 13 Moons Women's Temple podcast with your hosts, Sam and Leela.
Hi, Elizabeth. Oh, it's lovely. We've got a bit of an audience this evening, which is nice.
Maybe that's just all the mucking around, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're like people's feeds. Well, that's good. Oh, good. Well, here we are on a Monday evening, and it is the evening, which is quite nice, and the moon will be up any moment now. So let's just pause after sorting out technology and just take a moment to just feel the breath and space in our body. Yeah, and received in the manner in which they're presented, and that they support each and every one of us for our highest good and the highest good of all beings. It's rather special to be here this evening rather than in the morning. I quite like lunar evening moments.
Yeah, it is really nice. We'll see what the downloads are like at this time of day.
Yeah. Good. Well, like you said, we can have a nice. It's not a crazily busy week, and in terms of things to talk about, which is nice. It doesn't mean that we're not actually going to be individually and collectively having a busy week, because it's a busy week in terms of where we are in the moon cycle, moving towards the fullness of the moon. But ultimately, we can just have a look at what's coming as we go through the week, which is quite nice actually. So a bit more, less to waffle, more to action.
Yes. Yeah, which is one of the major themes of this week. We're coming up to the first quarter. So the new moon was last Wednesday. And this is the time in the moon cycle where energy is ripe. Energy is good to be actioning your intention. So that's kind of really the key to this week, is just to be able to pay attention to where your energy is, and to kind of like catch inspiration and go with it when you can. But we've got there's some key markers. So shall we start with today? It's a good place to start.
So we're nearly at the end of today, but that's it's a Monday, so that's a moon day, and it's a good day to really to take things nice and slow, or have been snuggling up, which is the case because it's so cold. And it was a Virgo. The moon was in Virgo today, so that's meant that quite possibly you have been at home and maybe you've been doing some action stuff, even though it's been a moon day. You've been just, I think, getting on with the to-do list would be a good thing to have done today, and probably that's been the temptation, is just to knuckle down and get on with that to-do list. Astrologically, we won't talk very much about it, but there is an aspect where Mars has gone into Taurus today. There are two aspects. Mars has gone into Taurus today, and there's another one tomorrow. But for today, Mars has gone into Taurus. It's moved out of being in Aries and it's moved into Taurus. And I was saying to Leela, really, we can see that that's kind of Mars and Aries are like the sort of brother and sister of war. And then there's been all that stuff brewing there. So things will have been happening. It would have been quite conflict orientated, a kind of desire to start those little fires going. Whereas Mars moving into Taurus is much more of that starting to ground that energy down, and actually maybe even start to seed some of that which will come into action. So Mars is always about that action energy. And so, yeah, it's a nice energy to move into. It's more harmonious, and that's something nice to be moving into at the beginning of this week. So you might feel that undercurrent shift occurring for you. Anything else on Monday?
Only that you might see in social media a concept called the Sirius Gateway. And this is a it's becoming quite popular for astrologers to explore the outer reaches of our galaxy, and to start to pull this information into, you know, our everyday lives. But the Sirius Gateway kind of peaks today and tomorrow, and it just means that the star Sirius is conjunct, or is next to our sun, and the light codes that we're receiving from the Sirius star system is about spiritual awakening. So at the moment, you're receiving, whether you're aware of it or not, but we're sort of receiving these light codes that are about expanding your capacity for spiritual development and awakening. And they talk a little bit about, it's a real activation of freedom as well. So that's occurring.
And that's interesting, because one of the things that I've been following is one of the lovely women that I follow, Pam Youngens, likes to share a lot about the space weather. And one of the things that she's been talking about, certainly today and since yesterday, well, there's been a lot going on since Friday actually, is an influx of solar plasma, which is cool when you think about it. If we're thinking about this concurrent Sirius Gateway, because what you're talking about there is almost going to be doing to us the same type of thing that we're going to be getting from this solar plasma. So we've been experiencing a sort of influx of solar plasma. We've been experiencing an influx of solar winds, and that has been really creating for us quite a lot of geomagnetic disturbances. So that means that we're going to be feeling that in our electromagnetic field as the Earth feels it in hers. Remember, the Earth is kind of like the bigger picture, and then we're a sort of mini planet in ourselves. So our mini planet is going to mirror what's happening to the big planet. And so if you are feeling a little bit more exhausted, a little bit like you're very jaded, perhaps that you've been sort of receiving downloads and other side experiences. I know I haven't been very well, but I've been having some very extreme experiences since Friday, and this type of thing happening, and it actually affecting my electromagnetic field as well. So I think one of the things that I really like that she said is, it's a really good day or a really good evening. Drink lots of water, get extra sleep. If you can even make it to the bed before you've drunk the water.
Yeah, completely. Also, body aches and pains, and
Yes.
like your core temperature has gone up, bizarrely. Is also another kind of sort of like side effect of the electromagnetic field, and receiving, you know, these types of upgrades, because it gets into the DNA when we're dealing with these light frequencies that are so well, not of this sun, or not of this kind of atmosphere. It does have a tendency to penetrate into your DNA, which is where the spiritual awakenings come from, and is anchored at. So if you're feeling any of these really, you know, bizarre sort of, I don't quite know why I'm feeling like this, it's okay. And many of us will probably be out. You can drop in the comments over this week, you know, if you're feeling that. It would be nice to sort of hear if we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I think you know, the term ascension flu kind of,
yeah.
And remember, the key to this is, and it's quite hard to do right now because there's not much sun around, but is to actually just allow yourself to really visualize that crown chakra opening, and allow yourself to receive whatever, you know, the upgrade or the light codes or the shifts in your consciousness that wants to occur, rather than blocking down to it. So that's why I want to stay hydrated. That's why I want to be sensible about what we're eating. That's why we'll be sleeping. But as you do, if you feel any of that restriction, if you're feeling headachy, brain foggy, any of that restriction, then just allow your body to relax. The same as we would if we were listening to the gong, and the gong starts to feel too much. We actually have to relax to let the gong do what it needs to do, and then it too will pass and the upgrade can occur. So that's exciting. So let's just pay attention to that and notice how we're all feeling. And if that helps us, if it makes us feel better to know that we can sort of say, well, it could be to do with this extra increased plasma, that's solar plasma that's floating down over us. So that's today. Tomorrow is a Mars day. And what was that astrological aspect that I mentioned before?
Mercury is moving from Gemini into Cancer tomorrow.
Yes, so that's really nice because so Mercury was in Gemini, which is where it's home, and therefore lots of chit chat and lots of mind concepts occurring. And now Mercury has moved into Cancer. That's nice because it's going to come a little bit calmer. It's going to mean that we can take some of these concepts and actually just move them or work with them in a more nurturing way. So we can feel, if you just even think about that, Mars to Taurus, Mercury to Cancer, it just even feels, and that's what we can allow ourselves to enjoy in this sort of undercurrent of these 2 days. It could be that we have personally in our charts, it has an effect on certain things, and there might be some shifts happening for us, but they're likely to be gentle, supportive shifts. So it's good. And Tuesday, tomorrow, is a Mars day, and we're staying in Virgo. And that's wonderful because that just means we can really action this to-do list and just think about what were those priorities. If you were on our moon call with us last week, and we were really saying, okay, what are the things that I have put off? I really have put on the sidelines, but they are imperative to my development this year. Do some action points on those tomorrow and use that time, because it looks like the weather is going to support you to stay home and get stuff done. So it's a good day for that. Anything else on the Tuesday?
No, that's it for Tuesday. It's nice. There's no kind of fluff around this week. It's just quite, these are great days to get things done. Yeah, Wednesday is the Mercury day, and the moon will move into Libra. And so we were saying before, Libra is all about relationships. It's about the balance, the push, the pull, that communication between relationships. Mercury being, governing communication. So it's Wednesday is going to be a great day to look at your relationships, and particularly if you set intentions over the new moon to do with your relationships, action those on Wednesday. This is the action week. This is the week that if you said you wanted to make something happen, this is the week to make it happen. And so Wednesday is really going to be around those communications.
Yeah, so that's right. So this is a great day to, call your mum if you've been thinking you need to call her more, or send an email to your godmother, your godparent, or someone that you haven't communicated with for ages, or do that family. I don't know if anyone still does. We certainly do send out these emails telling the whole family what we've been up to. That would be a great day to do it. So that would be a good day to do that. And then alternatively to that, Wednesday is going to be a good day to sort your email out. So I'm going to put that down as my email day. Get into your emails and sort out those emails that you've just been putting off. Deal with your correspondence before your correspondence deals with you. And in that, it takes time to unsubscribe to things, declutter, clear out, get rid of all things, and just do that in a nice, gentle, friendly way. So there's sort of nice relay happening between you and those other people in your lives, however that is for you. It could just be also that Wednesday's a great day to catch up with a girlfriend for a cup of tea, on the phone or in person. So school holidays, maybe there's just someone you need to catch up with. It could be an awesome day to do that. So we can do that on Wednesday, and that's nice mid-walk day, so we can just enjoy the middle of the week in that way, and then we can drive into our Thursday. We stay in Libra on Thursday, so that's good. Jupiter day the expansion day. So that means that anything within our relationships can be amplified. So hopefully after all that positivity that we've given those communications, we're going to have some nice positive energy with our relationships on Thursday, but just be aware of that. So anything in relationship could be magnified or expanded on Thursday. So if you are having any tricky stuff in relationships, just bear that in mind. But what is important about Thursday is that we come into that first quarter moon.
Yeah, so at the first quarter point, that means that the momentum kind of peaks for what it is that you're setting in motion. So when we're in this period of time between the new moon and the first quarter, the new moon is when we make the intentions, when we sort of set off what it is you want to manifest. And the days leading up to the first quarter is where we get to work on making that happen. And so that momentum, and what's magnificent about this is this occurs on Thursday, on the Jupiter day. You can get so much more done on a Jupiter day because everything is expanded. So really bear that in mind, that your momentum is going to be high. Really, you don't want to waste. This is a wonderful opportunity to, if there's things that, you know, you're really wanting to work on, and particularly because we did revisit in the new moon, excuse me, we did revisit those things that we have sort of just left by the wayside this year. What is it that we need to pick back up again that we've sort of struggled with actioning, you know, over the first half of this year? And so Thursday would be a great day for you to go really dig deep and go, okay, how am I going to make this happen, if you haven't quite figured that out already?
And that's yeah, I think that this is such an important week before quite a powerful full moon week that we've got coming next week. So we always want to be making the most, and it's a super moon next week. So we've got all that energy coming. That means we're already slightly feeling it. You are quite sensitive. You're already going to be feeling the pull of this full moon that's coming in next week. And with that as well, I almost forgot to mention, there's a comet coming next week too. So not only do we have a full moon next week, but there's also a comet, and it's a K2 comet, and it's going to be passing the Earth, and it's going to be at its closest point that it's ever been. And therefore, whenever we have something like a comet hitting, well, not hitting, but moving us, it's going to bring stuff up. It's going to bring things to light. So if you think about comets, it's like dust and all the little particles and things. Anything that is just sort of we've kept hidden could actually be brought up to the surface. And so if you're sensitive, you're going to start to feel these things coming into next week. So we want to be making the most of these few days just to kind of really get everything into order where we can. And Friday we've got, sorry, I'm just going to jump into Friday, but Friday's a Venus day. Love Venus days, beautiful days. But on top of that, we've got a void of course. So whenever there is a void of course, two things happen. Either you're going to be even more effective, or you are just going to crash and burn, and maybe the solar plasma is just going to take you out. One of the two, just be aware of it. So if you know that you're likely to just go, oh, you know, void of course, I need to go to bed and watch mushy Venus type films, then that's what you're going to be doing between when are you going to be doing
11
that?
a.m. and 3 p.m.
3 o'clock in the afternoon. So lunchtime nap, watching a Venus film would be awesome on Friday, and then we can get ready for a Scorpio weekend. Yay,
It's time to get shadowy on Friday night.
Sex, drugs and rock and roll. And so we've got that going. And what's lovely about that really is that means that, you know, it'll be a great night to go out clubbing on Friday night. So whereas last weekend, if you remember, I was like, well, could be a good party weekend, or maybe we're going to be out on the streets, you know, with our placards. This weekend we're likely to want to go to one of those nightclubs we don't normally go to, and sort of just be in an underground movement for a weekend, doing a nice, yeah, wearing some of your slinkiest party outfits, I guess.
Yes.
And that's what we'll be doing.
Because it'll be freezing.
It's not likely what I'll but actually a great evening. So Friday evening, great evening for a bonfire. So have a nice bonfire in the garden. Do those types of things. Really get outside in the darkness, look up to the sky, feel all that shadow aspect, and just get a little bit nice and spooky and witchy with everything. That will feel really, really good with your friends. Saturday, we move into Saturday. Saturday's a Saturn day, and we've got the Scorpio energy, and it's the 11th day of the moon. So that's quite a nice catalytic day. Saturn is a good day to get stuff done. Saturn is a work day. Yes, it's a discipline day, and it's the 11th day of the moon. So a wonderful day to do a prosperity meditation and just actually decide what are those things you're going to achieve absolutely before the full moon.
Yeah, that's kind of really all there is to it. It's like the working week should start on Saturday, really, but it doesn't. But it should.
Well, then we need Monday off.
Oh, what a shame. We should have Monday off. Yeah.
I think ultimately we need to sort of go work one day, rest one day, work one day, rest one day.
Work, play, rest. Work,
yeah.
Play, rest.
I like it. Poppy's been telling me we're going to be moving towards a 4-day school week, so that's good. I like that. You know, perhaps potentially there's been a movement. They're all going to start talking about it, so it happens. I like it.
Good. Great.
So that's good. Saturday is that good. Make the most of Saturday. Achieve those things. Do a nice meditation to support that, or do some work around prosperity because it's going to be really helpful with the aspects. And then, enjoy Sunday. Sunday we're going to stay. I'm trying to read when we move. Oh, we don't move.
Go avoid a course in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So and then we have a Sagittarius evening.
Yes, which is lovely actually. So a really nice sort of slightly more dreamy Sunday evening. Probably a bit of a sigh out, ready for Monday morning, and then ready for some new aspects next week. So there is quite a bit coming next week. We do have a full moon in Capricorn coming, and it is a big moon. So it's a good week to, like we've been saying, get everything in order. Take some nice rest if you can. Listen to what you need. It might be that you feel hugely energized and you just want to keep getting things done. It might be that you're feeling exhausted and a little bit drained from the solar flares and some of the other things that are occurring. So just, as always, listen to your body, do what feels right, and honor yourself. And pay attention by taking journal prompts in your diary as to how you're actually feeling, so that you can start to notice how you respond to these different aspects. The thing we didn't say is happy birthday if it's your moon birthday this week. If you have your moon in Virgo, that's me, or you have it in Libra, or you have it in Scorpio, or you just creep it in there in Sagittarius. So if your moon is in one of those signs, then happy moon day. If that's the case, I, for example, can enjoy moon tomorrow.
Yay.
That's
Happy
good.
Moon days. Good. Okay, that's it.
Was there anything else? I don't think so.
No, there is nothing else. Only to sort of just as a prelude, next week it is a super full moon in Capricorn. So Capricorn is the opposite of Cancer. We had a new moon in Cancer, and so on the zodiac, Capricorn is that, you know, is the polarity to Cancer. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Being that it's a super full moon, the energy is going to build to that Saturnian kind of disciplinary action, that these intentions that you've set and that you're working with at the moment, whether you set them on this new moon or whether they've carried over and you're still working on them, the energy is really, really important this week to really get things in motion. And it's really good. We can really see some phenomenal movements occur in your life, in our lives, and in the collective for which we're all working within. So yeah, it's going to be it feels like quite a great time. And if you've not joined us for the moon circles, then this might be a really great time to drop in on next week's full moon circle and sort of see what that's all around, and see how it is that we work collectively to support each other in what we want to create in our lives, what we're releasing, how we're evolving. All of that jazz.
Yeah, it's good. And yeah, exactly. So that'll be good. So we'll do some special stuff next week, just explaining a bit more about the comet, a bit more about the full moon, how the solar plasma's going, and then we can be super duper prepared for the week ahead. But for this week, let's all just look after ourselves, tick off that list, and make sure you're nurturing yourself in the way that feels right to you. So what that means is listen to your own needs according to your own astrology. Look at what your moon sign is, and then from there you'll understand how to support your emotional needs. And that will be a good way to look after yourself. So start practicing that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that again in the next few weeks to come.
Good. Lovely.
Well, let's take a nice conscious breath together. Just take a moment to send deep love to all the other women that are tuning in at this time, or any time in the future, or anyone that's listening to this recording, wherever you are on our beautiful planet. Let us send each other love, compassion, hope, and peace. And let us remember that we are truly never alone. Have a really beautiful evening, everyone. Stay warm. Oh, especially if you're down in Sydney, stay warm and dry. We're sending lots of love, and we hope that wherever you are, your homes are dry and your loved ones are safe. Take care. Good night.
Satnam, thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us on this podcast episode. These are sound bites and conversations about things we think are important to support the collective ascension towards more love, acceptance, hope, and harmony on the planet Earth. Together we can continue to support each other through conversations that need to be held. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do share it with your people. We would love it if you subscribe to our channel and even rate the podcast if you feel called to. You can also find us and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify just by searching the 13 Moons Women's Temple.